She set the crown on the boy's head, and the law bit down like teeth, gold-touched skin. Runes lit, the night market held its breath. And inside her skull a whisper curled like smoke, "Adopt me back." Leora flinched. Her fingers slipped from the metal. The orphan didn't move. He stared up with river-gray eyes, thin as a reed stood on his cheek. The crown fit crooked. It shouldn't have fit at all. A brand burned into Leora's palm. A small circle, a line through it, the mother's mark. Not on the boy. On her, across the stalls, gong keepers banged the law bells. Witness. Binding made. Claim recorded. The bells shook the glass roofs. People ducked. A flock of paper warrants lifted like birds. Leora wanted to run. She needed the bounty for crowning a ward of the City 1 silver stack to get her sister out of debt. Simple, fast, no questions, but the crown had spoken. "Adopt me back," it whispered again. "You left me." "I don't know you," she hissed under her breath. The boy swayed. "Miss, am I chosen now?" Chosen. That was the word they used in the courts. Chosen meant you got bread, a bed, a name in the ledger. It meant no one could sell you. "Yeah," Leora said. "Chosen." Boots hammered. Ledger knights cut the crowd like knives. Black glass armor. White helms. The law walked on their shoulders. "Hands where we can see," the captain barked. "Who placed the circlet?" Leora's mark glowed, traitor bright. The nearest knight saw. "There, the mother by claim." "I'm not," Leora began. The crown sighed, a metal breath. "Lie later. Move now." The boy grabbed her sleeve like a drowning child. His bones were bird-light. "Please don't leave me." A forbidden rule paced her memory. When the mother's mark appears, the bond cannot be traded, broken, or sold. Not without a life price. The old law. The law no one used because it was cruel. Another whisper, soft as ash. "You made me. Adopt me back?" Leora's stomach turned. She shoved through the spice smoke and lantern light, dragging the boy. Stalls blurred silver fish, red peppers, black silk. Knights followed, helms turning, breath like wind in bottles. Left at the cracked statue. The crown murmured. "You remember the way." Leora did. That scared her more than the boots. Her feet took her down an alley where a broken angel leaned over a ladder of shadow. It was like walking an old dream. "Name," she said to the boy. "Tell me." "Ash," he said. "I was called Ash?" "Fitting," the crown hummed in her skull. "She left me in fire." Memories rose, quick and sharp. A furnace room, sparks, a hand over hers. Master Rule's voice, gentle with the living metals. "They remember better than we do. Then the coup, smoke, Rule gone." Leora ran. She buried her craft under cheap jobs and cheaper names, and now a crown spoke with a hurt child's voice. They hit the river steps. Water hissed around black pylons. Torches bloomed behind them. "Stop!" By order of Leora jumped the last 3 steps. The boy slipped. She caught him by the elbow. Pain flashed through her burned palm. The mark pulsed back at the law like a heartbeat. "Why me?" she said, breathless. "You know why," the crown said. "Mother's return?" Night spilled onto the stairs. Bows raised. The captain shouted, "Unhand the ward." "The crown is property of the regent." The boy flinched. "Property," he whispered. Like it was a curse, Leora put him behind her. Rage burned up through her ribs. She'd been property once in a forge apron. "Regent stole me," the crown said, voice low as the river. "You forged me for a true line. You promised a different head. You swore on iron, adopt me back." Light rippled along its rim. In that light she saw her old maker's mark. Tiny and hidden, Leora's first metal letter. Crooked from shaking hands, the twist stabbed clean. The orphan wasn't the boy. The orphan was the crown. "You knew me," Leora whispered. "I know the skin I learned under," it said. "I know the heartbeat that set my temper. You are the first sound I remember." Arrows hissed. The first struck the pylon. Stone cracked. Leora shoved Ash down behind the river rail. What happens if I say yes? She asked. You take me back? Not as queen. As maker. As mother by metal. Then I can stop obeying stolen rules. The whisper sharpened. I will choose my ward, not the regent's ledgers. I choose Ash. The boy stared at the water. Something singing, he said. And the river did sing, a low hum, tuned to the crown's voice. Choose now, the crown said, or the law will take him. Footsteps thundered. Leora tasted copper. She lifted her marked hand and pressed her palm to the cold bright rim. Then I take you, she said. Back, heat exploded. Not fire, memory. The runes flashed from gold to a color that wasn't color like sunlight under skin. The mother's mark flared up her wrist and braided with the old forge scar. The knights faltered. Law bells in the market cracked like eggs. A different bell woke deep from the foundry quarter. Old law, older than the regent. The air shook with it, the captain steadied. Loose? Arrows flew. The river rose. It rose like a spine. Water made a wall before them. Arrows died in it with small, sad sounds. Ash laughed once. You're a mage. I'm nobody, Leora said. But the crown's pulse matched her heart. It felt like a hand she'd been missing. They ran under the bridge, water guarding their backs. Tunnels opened in the dark maintenance stairs, steam pipes, rat lanes. The crown led, a rhythm in her skull, left down, right at the chalk arrow. You used to draw them when you were small. She was small again. Scared again. But she moved. Why pick Ash? She asked between breaths. Because he asked the river to keep him, the crown said. He didn't ask for bread. He asked to belong. I heard. They slid into a low chamber where furnaces had died long ago. The floor was warm. The crown dimmed. Listen, it said. The regent will follow. He has my sister's circlets, the ones he broke. He wears their voices like trophies. He will promise your sister's safety. He will make you kneel. You think I will? You ran once, the crown said, and it wasn't cruel, just true. Will you run again? Leora's throat closed. She thought of her sister bent over a ledger she couldn't pay. She thought of Ash's hand on her sleeve. She thought of old oaths and the cost of breaking them. A door scraped. Light spilled in a pale sheet. Silhouettes filled the frame. Not knights, smaller, 10, 20, children. Each wore a circle of tin, or wood on their hair like a pretend crown. Ash whispered, the tunnel court. The first girl stepped forward. We heard the bell, she said. The true one. Every child's eyes fixed on Leora's hand. On the mark. On the gold dot the crown breathed, soft and fierce. You adopted me back. Now they will ask you to adopt them too. Not as mother. As maker of safety. As breaker of stolen rules. The last silhouette lifted his head. Not a child? A tall man. Cloak of white threads. A ring of glass on his brow, the regent. His voice was gentle, almost kind. Leora, he said, using the name she'd killed. Bring my crown home and I will wipe your sister's debt. I will bless the boy. No one has to bleed. The children pressed closer to her legs. Leora lifted her chin. The river sang under the floor. The crown whispered, decide. She did not breathe. Which law will you keep? The regent asked. Leora stepped forward and the floor shivered. Careful, the crown said. Once you speak, the old law writes it. She opened her mouth cut to black, like this kind of tale. Tap follow so you don't miss what she says next.